Hey you guys, let's do the sheriff's blotter for this week. I have 3 newspapers with 3 sheriff's blotter. I don't think I need that. There's a bubblegum I'm chewing today, by the way. Sugar-free bazooka bubblegum. I'm going to try to do 30 minutes so we can fall asleep. And I'm going to use a feather pen because I think a feather is kind of relaxing. Okay, so here, sheriff's blotter. July 7th. Gore Hills. A thief stole a $100 wallet containing a bank card and insurance card from an unlocked vehicle parked on such and such a street. A resident on such and such a place reported that someone stole her mailbox valued at $30 from the front of her home. The incident occurred on June 23rd. Someone stole a purse containing $200 in cash, several bank cards from an unlocked car parked on such and such a lane. That was June 21st. A thief stole a $2,000 golf club set and 2 music CDs valued at $30 from a car parked on such and such a road on June 19th. Someone stole $150 worth of photo camera gear and a $20 gate remote control from an unlocked car parked on such and such a road. A $1,000 tripod stand was stolen from an unlocked vehicle parked on such and such a road on June 19th. A burglar stole a $30 backpack containing a wallet with a driver's license, a passport, bank card, and $30 in cash from an unlocked car parked on such and such a road on June 19th. And the thief later used the bank cards to make several fraudulent purchases. Calabasas. A vandal caused $1,500 in damage to a heavy glass door at the high school in the 22,000 block of such and such on June 26th. And lastly, burglars stole more than $6,000 worth of goods from the AT&T store, 23,000 block of such and such on June 23rd. That's terrible. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Okay. There's another sheriff's blotter. June 21st, a man, age 25, was arrested for battery and assault at the corner at the intersection of such and such roads. June 22nd, about $65 in property was stolen from a car in the 1300 block of such and such. June 23rd, a vehicle tailgate valued at $1,200 was stolen in the 700 block of Ventura Boulevard. A wall, June 24th, a wall in the 800 block of such and such was vandalized with spray paint, causing about $100 in damage between June 24th and June 27th. Property valued at under $1,000 was stolen from an unlocked car in the 2000 block of such and such a court between June 24th and June 26th. June 25th, a man, age 29, was arrested for identity theft and conspiring to commit a crime on the 4000 block of the avenue. About $300 in property was stolen on the first block of such and such a street. More than $1,000 in merchandise was stolen from the Calvin Klein store on the 700 block of the boulevard. A 26-year-old man was arrested for stealing merchandise on the 900 block of such and such a road. A man, age 23, was arrested for sexual battery and assault in the 400 block of such and such. June 26th, a woman, age 37, was arrested on 2 outstanding warrants in the 300 block of such and such court. A 29-year-old man, a convicted felon, was arrested for possessing a firearm in the 4000 block of the avenue. A cell phone valued at $600 was stolen at the 4000 block of Collie such and such between June 27th and June 30th. A 48-year-old man was arrested for grand theft and resisting arrest in the 800 block of such and such a street. A 37-year-old man was arrested for domestic violence in the 300 block of such and such a street. A woman, age 52, was arrested for injuring her spouse in the face in a 2000 block of such and such. Property was stolen from a car in the 900 block of such and such a lane. A car was set on fire at a corner of such and such. That's terrible. A bike valued at $1,000 was stolen in the 800 block of such and such a street. A man, aged 22, was arrested for commercial burglary and conspiring to commit a crime in the 900 block of such and such a street. June 29th, a 47-year-old man was arrested on 3 outstanding warrants in the 1000 block of the boulevard. A man, aged 22, was arrested for battery and assault against his neighbor at the corner of such and such boulevard. Next, a man, aged 23, was arrested on an outstanding misdemeanor warrant at the intersection of such and such a street. A burglar attempted to break into a dentistry office in the 200 block of such and such between June 30th and July 1st. Between June 25th and July 1st, police arrested 2 people for driving without a license or on a suspended license. During that same time period, 1 person was arrested for driving under the influence of a controlled substance, and 7 people were arrested on various drug charges, and 2 people were arrested for public intoxication. All right, let's do the other paper. This is a lot. Okay. All right. Here we are. Sheriff's Blotter. And if I don't use up my 30 minutes, I'll go back and look for spooky stories. There's one on the front page. It says, wife accused of stabbing her husband. So we have time left over. Let's read that at the end of the Sheriff's Blotter. Okay, here we are. Next one. On June 25th, a 42-year-old man was caught stealing a bicycle worth over $1,000 in the 2400 block of such and such. He was also charged with vandalism. A woman, aged 33, was arrested for shoplifting and for being under the influence of drugs near the intersection of such and such a street. June 26th, a 20-year-old man was battered by an unknown person in the 100 block of such and such a street. June 27th, a 44-year-old man was found under the influence of a controlled substance in the 400 block of such and such a road. Taft Electric Company reported that over $4,000 worth of property was stolen and hijacked after thieves broke into the storage area near the off-ramp of such and such street. Oh, that's terrible. A 33-year-old woman was told, a 33-year-old woman told police someone broke into her home in the 2000 block of such and such a street and stole $40 from her pocketbook. Oh my goodness. June 30th, a 52-year-old man was picked up in the 500 block of such and such street for being under the influence of a controlled substance. June 24th, a man aged 26 was arrested in a 1700 block of such and such for being under the influence of a controlled substance, tampering with someone's vehicle, and possession of drugs and burglary tools. I've always wondered about burglary tools. So, like if you just happen to have stuff there that's on a list of burglary, how do you know what a burglary tool is? That's weird. Like a crowbar would be a burglary tool. What else? What else is a burglary tool? I'd really like to know it, so I won't have that in my car. Police arrested a 31-year-old man for being under the influence of drugs in the 100 block of such and such. June 25th. A woman, age 42, was found under the influence of drugs in the 100 block of such and such a place. A man, age 34, was arrested near the such and such a school and the 101 freeway for possession of a dagger and controlled substances and drug for sale and drug paraphernalia. Oh my goodness, a dagger. That's spooky. Police picked up a 29-year-old woman in the 1100 block of such and such a boulevard for being under the influence of a controlled substance and false ID to police and possession of drug paraphernalia. June 26th, a 53-year-old man was too intoxicated to care for himself in the 1300 block of such and such a road. Police responded to a burglary in the 200 block of such and such a road. June 27th, a 45-year-old man was arrested and taken to the main jail after he was found in the 100 block of such and such, and he was too drunk to take care of his own self. Two men, aged 19 and 22, were arrested for conspiring to commit a burglary in the 300 block of such and such. June 28th, a 47 year-old woman was taken into custody after battering her boyfriend in the face in the 700 block of such and such a place. Police were called to the 100 block of such and such after receiving word of a 25-year-old woman in the act of battering her husband. A 32-year-old woman was transported to Maine jail for inflicting corporal injury on a spouse or a cohabitant in the 100 block of Gainsborough Road. On June 29th, a 36-year-old man was arrested for crimes that occurred in the 800 block of such and such, inflicting corporal injury on a spouse or cohabitant and kidnapping. He was also charged with bringing drugs into the jail. Oh my goodness, that is crazy. A 21-year-old man was caught brandishing a replica firearm in a 200 block of such and such. He was also charged with possession of a controlled substance and having 2 syringes on his person. A man, age 32, battered his girlfriend in public in the 2400 block of such and such. A 21-year-old man was taken into custody for driving under the influence of alcohol and having a blood alcohol content of 0.08% or higher near the city marketplace. Police arrested a 22-year-old man in the 200 block of North such and such a road for disturbing the police with fighting and battery and resisting, delaying, or obstructing a police officer. Oh my gosh. June 30th, a man, age 45, was taken to the Maine jail for public intoxication and assault with a deadly weapon. In the 200 block of such and such a circle, a man, age 22, was arrested for receiving stolen property worth over $1,000 in the 1300 block of such and such, and for being under the influence of a controlled substance. On June 24th, the market in the 2700 block of such and such reported that over $1,000 was stolen. June 28th, a man aged 27 riding a motorcycle was stopped by police under such and such a boulevard where it was determined that he was under the influence of alcohol. Oh my goodness, on a motorcycle. He was also charged with having a blood alcohol content of 0.08% or higher. Last, a 23-year-old man was taken to jail for being under the influence of drugs and possession of a controlled substance, and 4 syringes on his person, and battering a deputy in the line of duty in the 2700 block of such and such circle. A 24-year-old man who was with him was also arrested for being under the influence and possession of drug paraphernalia. Well, there you have it. 3 little newspapers of Sheriff Blotter. I have a few minutes left, so let's read this spooky article. Fireworks of another kind in town. Wife is accused of stabbing her husband. And this is an article by Andy Gunyan. I don't know how to pronounce it. His last name, Nguyen. And then they have a picture of the screaming female. It says she's not pleased as deputies take Christina such and such into custody on July 5th because she is accused of stabbing her husband. Oh my gosh. A woman has been accused of stabbing her husband early on the morning of July 5th. Police say Police said that the incident occurred sometime around 2:30 in the morning when Ventura County Sheriff's deputies responded to a call in the 700 block of such and such a street. They arrested 34-year-old Christina on suspicion of stabbing her husband. Keith was taken to the hospital to be treated for non-threatening stab wound injury. He has since been discharged. Detective such and such said that neither drugs nor alcohol were factors in this brutal stabbing. The incident is still under investigation. According to an online wedding registry attributed to the couple, they have been married since May of 2015. Christina held at the jail, Main Street Jail, in lieu of $20,000. Christina is charged with assault with a deadly weapon and inflicting corporal punishment to her spouse, and these are both felonies. She is scheduled to appear in court today, and that was July 7th. Oh my goodness. Well, that's terrible. And I hope you guys are relaxed by now and you can fall asleep. Sometimes I get so relaxed myself that I forget what I'm reading. But maybe you already noticed. Let's see if I put this paper back together again. Maybe not. Okay. No.